Good evening, everyone. My name is Tina, and I'm one of the Detox Divas for HB Naturals. Welcome to the call tonight. We are so excited for our guest speaker, Miss Veronica Ortega. But let me introduce the brains and beauty behind the company first. We have Paula Scarcella, who is absolutely amazing. I've truly enjoyed getting to know her and working directly with her. Ben, her husband, had become very ill one night or during a period of time, and she had reached out to her good buddy, Alexandria, to come out of retirement and put together a formulation to help save his life. He had what was called vasculitis, which is inflammation in the vascular system, which is very painful. Those of you that suffer with inflammation, you know the pain that is associated with that. But when it's in the vascular system and it is, your veins and stuff expand and contract because of the inflammation, it hurts a lot when that happens. So within 6 weeks, there was a turnaround in his health, and we're very happy that he is with us, and very happy to have Alexandria as our formulator for the company. She's world renowned, owns the Brighton Institute, has over 30 years of experience in the Ayurvedic medicine, aromatherapy, herbal, and natural remedy world. And we are very lucky tonight. Oops, I went the wrong way. We are very lucky tonight to have Veronica Ortega with us. Veronica has studied under Alexandria for years, and actually would ask to clean her offices and anything she could do just to be in her presence. And so if you've been on one of our calls with Veronica before, you know that it is now time to grab a pen and paper, because the information that this woman shares is absolutely incredible. I've not had a conversation with Alexandria about oils before, but I would bet Veronica gives her a run for her money when it comes to knowledge on that. And I am going to pin your video and stop share, and let's go speaker, and allow Veronica to take over. She is a licensed massage therapist, quantum aromatherapist, a Reiki master, a doula and feng shui practitioner, and owner of Healing Arts Institute of Texas. I typed that out. I should have known you were from Texas. So there you go, Veronica. Thank you so much for your time and knowledge and sharing with us this evening. I am just going to go ahead and let you take it away, and let's talk about moon essential oil as it relates to female hormones.
Great, let's do it. So how would you like a little Alexandria backstory about moon? Because I think you would.
Let's do it.
If you are a person who follows the moon cycles, if you are a person who puts things out to outside to really get the energy of the moon during the cycle, if you're charging, because that's the word people use, if you're charging things out in the moon, then this is what this blend is truly about. This blend was not just meant for females, it's about the feminine energy. And what Alexandria did when she created this is, when she literally created it, she created it according to the moon cycle. If you understand what the moon's energy does, it flows and it manipulates the water around the world. And that's what she wanted. It was the woman energy. The woman energy was coming from the base of the water, because true manifestation comes from the base of the ocean. When you look deep down inside the ocean, it's dark. It's dark, dark, dark. It's not just a blue color. So when you think of manifestation, people think of the color green all the time, but it's not about the color green. It's about the color black. It's about the depth of the ocean. And what she was doing when she created the moon blend was to actually pull from that energy from the depth of the ocean up to the moon, because the water, the moon, and the water of the world, it correlates together. So moon truly does have incredible magical powers. So that's the Alexandria story. She created it in order, if you know some of her blends, you know that she's about the empowerment of a woman, the empowerment of the female energy, the balance of the male energy at the same time. So she made sure to cover her bases, across the board. But sometimes, we need to, we need to be reminded of the inner power that we have for ourselves. So in order to do that, she did that with Moon. She really brought it forward. But the great part about Moon is that she really wanted to really help women in their reproductive organs. She wanted to make sure that the male energy, sometimes a man can just have a little too much male energy and just needs to tap in a little bit to their feminine side. And that's what Moon is about. Moon helps the male energy just kind of tone it down just a little bit. Isn't going to change anything. It's just going to really put everybody into a balance. So Moon helps with the reproduction organs for the female. What it will truly do, especially if you suffer from cramps, if you suffer, from any sort of reproductive challenge, your ovaries and such, Moon will help. It is a really great way, especially for a new girl who is actually starting her menstrual cycles, to really get and tap to her feminine energy. So it will help with the inflammation that may take place. It may help with the actual, maybe the overbuilding of tissue, that may happen sometimes with people in their ovaries and such, and the clotting. So Moon will actually help to do that for you. As a doula, Moon has helped me for some people who might have some fertility challenge. So Moon, actually, I rub Moon on the inside, because I am a body worker, on the inside of the ankle, by the heel, and on the other side, on the outside. Those are the reproductive organs of the reflex points. So if you apply Moon there and you just really kind of dig in a little bit, you can actually help break up whatever scar tissue or whatever imbalance might be taking place, and just really help open it up. And if you apply Moon there, then you're really going to get a great benefit. I am fortunate to say that I have done that with a few clients and I'm not saying I did it or the oil did it, but they got pregnant. So it really does help if you really focus in on the reflex points to really dig in there with the oil. It will truly help you. What's the other great thing about Moon is that you can actually diffuse it. So if you are a follower of the moon cycle and you're, depending on if the moon is waxing or waning, you can really tap into that, and to actually, instead of just using prosper, you can move forward and maybe try a little bit of Moon and set intentions. So that was a little side note. I just remembered that. So I thought I'd throw that in there. But okay, so the physical body. So you can use Moon to actually help you with infertility. It's not the cure-all, but it really does work in conjunction to what other methods that, people are doing to help them get pregnant. It will also help during labor and post-labor, because the hormones are a little wacky and you just need a little bit of balance. You want to wait till after labor to really, just rub in at the low back end and really help get the hormones back in place. So Moon has incredible female reproductive organ benefits, but it really does connect into the actual Moon. So, Alexandria doesn't name blends just because. There's a true reason why. Everything has an intention. Every blend has an intention and has a correlation to something tangible. So Moon will do that. Moon will actually help just keep into the rhythm of the water, the rhythm of the cycles that are coming up. So once you start using Moon, how would you use Moon? I just, inside of the foot, on sides of the heel. You could do a little on the very low belly area, so across where the ovaries may be, or in the very low back. Always always, when you're using or introducing a new oil or a new blend to your body, just do a little drop on the inner arm. Just see how your body reacts. You want to always start with a carrier because you never know what's going to happen. You just want to make sure that your body's okay and receives the oil or the blend really well. If there's any sort of a reaction, you're going to know right away. And you don't use soap and water. You add carrier oil to it. So literally something as simple as olive oil or the grapeseed oil or a jojoba. You just apply, and it just helps thin it out a little bit. And then that's what will, help you with any sort of reaction. But soap and water don't work. So don't think using soap and water are going to really help you get the oil off of your skin. Because once you apply that oil on top of your skin, it's already in your bloodstream and it's already traveling and it's moving. So remember that, please. Coconut oil is a great carrier oil. You just want to be mindful that it doesn't have a scent. True coconut oil sometimes doesn't have a coconut scent, but you want to be careful because you're adding scent to something. So you want to make sure that it comes from a neutral base. You want to make sure that so almond oil is not a good carrier oil for essential oils because it already has a scent. So you want to make sure that you use a great unscented base or carrier to add to your essential oils. So do about a quarter size amount of carrier oil to a drop of moon. You could go up to 2 drops and then apply. So here's the trick. Sometimes you need to reapply more, just one dab won't do you. Sometimes you just got to do it again. So if someone is really experiencing some severe PMS or, having some really big challenges with their reproductive organs, they may need to apply a couple times a day. So it's something just to remember. For any reason, you probably don't want to apply always right before you go to bed, especially if you're really sensitive to the oils, because our oils are a very strong concentrate. So it really, they're strong. They just are, because we're getting great quality oil. So you want to make sure that you do it maybe 3 or 4 hours before you go to bed, just to make sure that you're okay. It doesn't stimulate you whatsoever. Because if the moon's working and you put that moon on, you might get a little stimulated. So you want to be mindful of that. You really, truly do. And, one of the great things about Alexandria is she takes these little things into consideration when she blends. If the intention is for this, blend to follow the cycle of the moon, then she's going to follow the cycle of the moon as she's blending it. So when she created this blend, she did it, and she only blended it according to specific cycles of the moon. So if you are one of those people, because I know there's probably a bunch out here that actually put things outside or, on the windowsill to follow the moon, this is the blend you want to do that with, and just charge it up, because it really does help so much. It really gets in there, and it really just, sparks that little bit more of magic to the blend to make it work.
That's incredible. Can I interrupt real quick? Can you
Yes,
explain
of course.
more about how she intuitively formulated this according to the moon cycle? Like, what are you meaning by that?
So I think we're going to go off a little bit to the deep end. So when you think about the female reproductive organs, you do think of the water and you think of the cycles of the moon. So in knowing that she wanted to create something, she knew that she wanted to create a male energy and a female energy blend. And she knew that in order to create the female energetic blend, that it had to be able to follow the moon, because as women, that's where our energy is drawn from. And we follow that cycle so well. So she knew that she had to follow the moon cycle. So she started formulating the moon blend according to the cycle of the moon. So as it was waxing and waning, she was doing what she was doing in order to put the oils together and finding which oils worked appropriately. Now, Alexandria doesn't blend just for one specific intention. She blends for a collective intention. So the starts, the beginning of it starts at, I think we need blends to help balance the male and female energy. You know, I think we need blends for that. Okay, so where do you start? So she knows, you know, she knew in her research, okay, you can actually have that, you know, correlate with the moon. So that's where she started from. So she starts she starts going into the moon cycles and realizing that as women, that's just where we're connected to, and that the water, you know, our bodies are, you know, have so much water in them that this is what we needed to do. So she followed the moon cycles accordingly, and that's how she created the blend. She knew that women struggled in their reproductive organs at some level of their life. There's just a little bit of a struggle. And that was the other part of the intention, because there's always a physical element to her blending. There's always an energetic, an emotional, you know, piece to it as well. And there's always just a little bit more. So it's, you know, when people know those those three collective words, body, mind, and soul. So if you take that to the next level, that's how Alexandria has always blended. And that's always been her intention. So it will always cover the physical body, and then it's going to cover everything beyond that. So physically, what Moon is doing is actually helping with the female reproductive organs. Energetically, it's helping balance the feminine energy within women, because some women, you know, are too strong and maybe they need to tap down just a little bit, you know, and this is what that blend will do. So maybe, you know, just the male energy is too strong for a man, and maybe he just needs to back down just a little bit. And that's what the feminine energy does. So diffusing. If you have these people who are in your home or in your space, because I share an office with two men and it's just me. So, you know, my energy is kind of, I can keep up, which is great, you know, but at the same time, we got to just bring it back into check sometimes. And not just for them, but for me as well. Because if I get revved up into that strong energy, I've got to just take it down a little bit. Just a little diffusing, you know, a day or two, and that the energy just shifts. It just really, truly shifts. It's not like we're all crying and we're hugging each other like uncontrollably, but you can just feel the shift of, you know, an awareness, a deeper level of compassion. I realize within myself that I stop and listen more. So, because I can get revved up and go, because I could sometimes be a dog with a bone. So I'll just apply a little bit of Moon, and then I stop and I start listening, and I stop telling everybody else what to do sometimes, right? So that's always a good thing. So it's the balance. This is what this blend is about. I know you all are going to talk about sun next week, which is great, and it's phenomenal. So I'm just gonna throw in a little thread, just a little thread, if that's okay. So how does the sun balance it out? So if Alexandria followed the moon to create Moon, then she actually thought of the sun, right? So she's following the sun. So, excuse me, the sun blend is really to amp you up, because when you look at the sun, it's just, you know, I'm not happy with the sun right now because it's really hot, but it energizes you. So the sun is about energy. It's about moving you a little bit. It's about really soaking it in and getting motivated and moving forward, right? So as Moon kind of like chills you out just a little bit, the sun is just going to give you the energy to move forward. So here's the secret. Let's just say you really want to try to do some manifesting, right? You could use Prosper, definitely, because Prosper, listen, if no one's not bought or used Prosper before, you need to do it. So you can try Prosper and then add one of these two into that. Moon is not going to slow down the prosperity. Moon is just going to tap you into more, because why? The depth of the ocean is so deep, we don't know, right? I mean, they say that they could get to the bottom, but is it really the bottom? It's not, because there's enough for us all, right? So if there's enough for us all, if you have to stop and think what the depth of the ocean looks like and what it feels like, it's massive. And we're just a small little pea inside that ocean. So in our heads, sometimes in the limiting belief, we think there's not enough, or I'm not enough. So if you work with the Prosper and you work with Moon, you're going to start shifting the limiting belief of that there's more, and that there's so much depth in the water, that there is enough for us all, and that everyone can, manifest as much as they want. So Moon and Prosper working together. Let's say it's there, but you just need a little bit more, just a little bit of fire lit underneath you, just a little kick in the pants. Then you start to use a little bit of sun. So if you use the sun, then the sun is actually going to get you moving and get you going. The sun is actually going to give you a little bit of that fire, right? Because when you think of the sun, it's big, it's bold, it's very bright, and it just moves you forward. So it's going to give you the energy to actually do that. So sun is not just about having like male energy or whatever, but it's about just getting you revved up. So if you use that with your Prosper and balance with your Moon, just think of what the unlimiting things that you can actually achieve with these oils. People are always surprised when I say that I use oils to change my mindset. And you gotta, it's not just about believing that it's going to work. You have to understand that once these essential oils are touched onto your skin and are in your bloodstream and moving, then it's moving, because essential oils are neurotransmitters. So what's happening to your brain? It's actually changing your mindset. It's going into the cellular level and it's changing the memory. So in your cells, you're thinking limiting beliefs, then, if you apply oil regularly with a specific intention, then it's actually going to change at the cellular level. Your mindset, your belief is going to change because you're changing it all out. So it has really great work on top of other things, which intuitively, Alexandra, sometimes she never meant for it to happen that way, but it just does happen that way. So, it's just a wonderful coincidence and a wonderful happily accident that, truly happens with her blends. So I have a little bit of time. So if there's questions, I'll take a few questions.
Yes, that was amazing. I love the depth of the ocean analogy. The balance of sun, moon, adding Prosper in there. I've been a manifesting fiend lately, and last night I claimed that I'm getting a 67 Chevelle for my husband. So I'm in
Nice.
yeah. Yeah,
I
I'm
like
going to
it.
put on a whole bunch of these oils. So there was a question, and there were two people that had this question. My 11-year-old granddaughter just started her cycle. Is this okay for her?
Yes, it's safe. I would still use a carrier oil. She probably doesn't need it as often, maybe just one drop, and then just a little application either on the bottom of her feet or the inside of her heels, or on her low back or her low belly, wherever she's comfortable applying it. But she probably doesn't need so much right now, but it's a good way to get her started, because then her body will become acclimated, and her body will actually, with the oils, you'll do good work to, keep her in a good place during her menstrual cycles. So it's good. It's a good thing to do.
And then would that be like applied like every 3 days, every 4 days during the cycle only, a few days before the cycle? Obviously she's not regulated yet because
Right.
she's just starting, but
This might regulate her, in the very beginning sometimes, or for people who are challenged and don't have regular periods, this will actually help them do that. So she could start maybe a day or two before, that she's going to start her period, and then maybe do it every other day during her period. She'll know if she's really in tune to, and it's hard because she's 11, but you want to step back and give her that space to really get in tune to her body, and she will truly, truly, learn, like, okay, this is what I needed. This is what I have to do. I'm fortunate that I have a niece that grew up with me pouring oil on her. But as a 27-year-old, she's in tune to her body and she understands exactly what oil she needs. And primarily, she always wants a lot of tea tree. But it's just one of those things. So she will grow to be in tune to what's going on with her cycle and what she truly needs. So it's just, it's really a great thing, and maybe if she, you want to do that whole ceremonial thing of being a woman and all that kind of stuff, you could, this could be part of it as well.
that's awesome. Could you address real quick how effective this is for like menopausal women and women that are older whose hormones fluctuate a lot more?
Um, I don't, I'm trying to, I'm trying to remember. I don't remember off the top of my head everything that's exactly inside of moon. Moon will help with some women. I mean, with women in menopausal, because it will address maybe the moodiness a little bit more. It may address maybe the some of the hot flashes and such. So it may help within the balance of that, because when I think of menopause, I think of like 5 different oils. So this could be a good kind of cure all, just a one bottle thing that could actually help. It may not just bring those hormones back up, as quick, but it could really get everybody back into following the cycle. So that could be a good thing.
Kind of like lavender for hormones.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes.
Well, let me run through the chat real quick and see if there's any
Okay,
more. I know you have plans this evening, so I don't want to keep you a minute past.
that's all right.
Everyone is loving this information.
Good.
Can I get any health benefits from Moon after having a total hysterectomy?
Oh, it will definitely help you. It would definitely help you. What I would do is I would really rub it on the belly area. If your hysterectomy was done laparoscopically, you want to go right where the incision was, or right when the insertion point, and really rub some moon there and do a little bit of cross friction, because it will help with actually the oils in there, I believe, will help with some of that scar tissue buildup. That's why it's so good. So women who've had C-sections, same thing. You can go in and use moon and help break up some of the scar tissue from the C-section and
Wow.
make it really supple, because but you've got to go in there and you've got to do the work. You've got to get in and, do some cross friction, back and forth, and really help. So, anyone post pregnancy and labor, moon is truly going to give you, a nice ease back in. It's going to try to really truly help you come back into a balance. So if you do that, if you're applying it and you're breastfeeding, for instance, you don't want to apply it close to your breasts. You want to apply after or far before you actually breastfeed. You want to make sure to do that. So any sort of incision from C-section or hysterectomy and such, apply the moon there and just really go in and do some cross friction and break up the scar tissue there. So that will help.
That is great. All right. So your 30 minutes are up. I'm going to go ahead and clean up with some announcements
Sure.
we have coming up for next week and some specials and things. But again, we always love having you on. We'll take you any chance we get. If you ever feel like, hey, I want to coach on the call we have open this week, I'll be like, whoever it is, I'm going to put you in next week. Veronica's free. So,
well, thank you for inviting me, and thanks for all of your attention. And I hope you've learned something. And, I hope you really find the power in moon, to be really, truly, moving for you in whatever direction that you need. But thanks so much. And hopefully I'll see you all soon.
you sure will. And thank you so much. Have fun tonight.
Thanks.
All right, let me get back to gallery view. And all right, you guys, I'm going to go back and share the screen, drop some love in the chat for Veronica. She will be back in August, and we'll be covering, she'll be covering some back to school wellness type essential oils and stuff. And then I'll cover briefly the back to school, the wellness kit that we've got with fulvic liquid and fulvic powder. So blow up that chat and let her know how much we love her when she's educating us over on this side. And just a little bit of few things that we want to cover real quick before we let you go. Gut Check has been giving some amazing testimonies, really helping people getting their digestion back in place. The calls we've done have been absolutely amazing. If you've not seen those, ask for the recording. It truly is, the gut-brain connection is so incredibly powerful in the microbiome and stuff. I was just having a conversation with someone today, and her naturopath prescribed probiotics, and we've learned that that's not a positive impact on your body. So those videos that we've had are are really good. Gut Check's an amazing product. Paula just launched buy 3 fulvic acids, get 1 free. That's available in the back office now as well. We have a 3-day liver cleanse coming up. I know August seems a long way off, the end of August, but we are going to be talking about this a lot on our social media, training on this in our groups. In 2 weeks, our call will be on the liver cleanse, the 3-day liver cleanse. It will start August 25th. And we will roll right into a parasite cleanse. And one of the reasons we do the parasite cleanse over the full moon is because that's when those little buggers are most active. Next week, we have From Imbalance to Vitality. Troy Monroe is going to be our guest speaker. He's going to be talking about harnessing the power of sun essential oil for hormonal balance. And we'll probably talk about primal, clary sage, and rose geranium as well. So super excited. He was on our the Men of HBN call, and he gave a great presentation on that. And then directly following this, we've got Coach Marcus. If sharing these products is of interest to you and you'd like to help others, please feel free to join the One Team, One Dream Hangout.com, passcode GO1TEAM. That will start at 8 p.m. Central. So with that, the meeting is, I will stop the recording. Thank you so much. We'll see you back next Thursday, same time, same channel.